Namaskar. Let me first start with thanking Swapan Das Gupta for having made it possible for me to be here. And I feel sad that I couldn't hear more from Ashok Lahiri. I've always had great value for his comments and talking about East and its contribution to Viksit Bharat. There couldn't have been a better speaker than him. I would have loved to hear him. But thanks for the little opening, and I'm sure there will be opportunities for me to hear you more on this topic. And of course, Tathagata Roy, former governor, I thank him for being here and giving us the strength in the dais. And for this wonderful audience, pardon me, I certainly cannot speak in Bengali, although I enjoy hearing it. So I will largely be speaking in English. There and here, if you permit me, I can utter some sentences in Hindi. Not that that's my forte, but still I'll try to do it. We are talking on Viksit Bharat. We are talking on East India. It's not for the first time that talking about India and its development, Eastern India has been brought in. Prime Minister Modi has always made sure, and you will even see him putting his hand up saying, this part of India, literally showing the eastern side, which, as was very nicely described, the geography is Orissa, Bengal, Bihar, Jharkhand, largely remaining where they are, and some data is with me, I can share it with you. But PM constantly says, unless we pick these states up and make sure that they move forward along with us, India's growth story is never going to happen. And therefore, the emphasis on Eastern state has been there from 14 till now. And when we are talking about Viksit Bharat 2047, I've used the language in the budget of this time, the interim budget, that Eastern India is going to be the engine of growth. So it's not as if I'm standing before you, I'm saying it. It is a part of my budget speech language. Unless the engine is going to move and in full force, the rest of the bogies cannot move. So that is the kind of emphasis we are placing for Eastern India. Just for setting the background, Viksit Bharat, what are those groups which we are going to focus on? I'll come to the sectors that we focus on a bit later. What are those four groups? PM made it very clear in several of his speeches, particularly the one which he spoke in 2023, August 15th from Red Fort. In a country where you're constantly referring to a whole lot of other divisionary elements, he said, look, I'm looking at India for development through the eyes of women, through the eyes of the poor, through the eyes of our Juva, as you would say, Yuva. And I'm looking at it from the eyes of Annadata, the Krishak. And these are the four for whom I have to do everything to make sure they are equally rising as India would rise. And in his mind picture, if these four groups are rising, you would address every regional, religious, caste, rural, urban, upper class, middle class, all that would be addressed. These are the four for development purposes. Caste is not an Indian word. But if you want the comfort of that word, these are the four castes we'll have to focus on and pull them up from where they are for higher and higher development. Now, if that is the picture with which you're looking at Viksit Bharat, I'm not going to go into the larger other issues. So what are the sectors that we're placing emphasis on to reach that goal of development 2047? Of course, I can quickly rustle up 4 or 5 sectors. Space is one, artificial intelligence is another, technology, and technology for every other sector as well. Logistics, India has not utilized. I mean, the very fact that you had Ashok Lahiri tell me, take this road for a 550 kilometers, you will be spending more than 12 hours, says where our logistics is, not just the road connectivity. On the way, is there enough space for the trucks to get parked? Is there enough storage for those export commodities to hold on till they reach the port? Are there enough connections to communicate? Are your internets working fine? All these are also part of your logistics, and for which PM Gati Shakti is a very strong tool through which you can achieve. So you can say agriculture value addition. Again, East has not been part of the Green Revolution, but do we know whether we are working on the productivity per acre? Do we know whether the productivity is efficiently arrived at? What is the efficiency quotient when you're talking about agriculture? The disguised unemployment problem, disguised employment actually, which is unemployment problem. So there are enough and more. Tourism, Bengal can make, if Kerala could talk about God's own country, I would think Bengal is the blessed land. And we don't make much of our tourism here. So we can sectorally see where we can place emphasis, give legislative support, make sure those due diligences that you have to follow are all minimized and take you forward. But before I go into that detail, I just want to highlight some of the things about Eastern India. I said we are looking at it going to be the growth drivers, you're the engine. I've also very clearly said that for India as a whole, even some of the best developed states do have within them some blocks or districts which are not adequately developed. And that is why nearly 2016 or 17 Prime Minister came up with a list of aspirational districts. Aspirational was a name given only because the intent was noble. We didn't want to point out saying underdeveloped, not developed, backward. No. Even the name was, you aspire to want to be better, so you're an aspirational district. For me, 112 of them all over the country. I'll start with the sob story from now on. In this, 42 of the 112 aspirational districts, and before I go to the sob story, the 112 aspirational districts, because monthly Prime Minister sits on a video conference mode called Pragati and addresses at the district level with the district officials saying, tell me where you're stopping. Tell me where the hindrances are. Tell me where you're not able to move forward. Tell me why your hospitals are not all right. Tell me if your teachers are there. Tell me, so on. Directly, PM through Pragati talks to these 112 districts in rotation. More than 1/3 of them, 42 of these aspirational districts are, please listen carefully, are in Orissa, Jharkhand and Bihar. You get the story? There was no response which was received from the state of West Bengal, no aspirational district at all. And as a result, the progress which is being made at the district level has not reached Bengal. You've denied yourself that kind of a push being given, not at the overall state level, but to the level of the states, districts. So 42 districts of the 112 belong to the East, but there's no district from Bengal which could have been classified as aspirational, and every such fundamental infrastructure which should have been there, a hospital, good school, good teachers, health centers, wellness centers, good, Anganwadis, inoculation, the kind of nutrition-related access which people will have to get. None of them reached Bengal. But the progress that these aspirational districts have made is so distinct that the program today is moving from district to the block level. So even within the aspirational district, even as it progresses, are there some blocks within that district which requires attention? Now PM has started giving attention to them, saying even at the block level, make sure that the parameters are all well done. No, nothing in Bengal, I'm sorry. Now, look at Bengal's handwork and products which can attain global markets. I'm giving you both pluses and the opportunities that exist. 58 items from the 23 districts of Bengal have all been placed under one district, one product program. It is very important because based on this, in not just this budget, midterm budget, but the one which is before, we have given money to every state saying in your state headquarters or a town that you have where prospects of good tourism is, create an Ekal building, the Unity Mall, in which you can display all the products from all the districts as much as you will display products from other states if you so wish. But make sure because of that your market for these handicraft products or products which are unique to every one of your districts are showcased so that artisans from the districts can benefit. After all, they are the ones who kept up the Indian economy for centuries. Work is not progressing in that score as well. Now, if I'm looking at Viksit Bharat, which is Purvi Bharat, rural transformation is absolutely important. Agricultural productivity in West Bengal, especially for its primary crop, which is paddy, is much below other paddy producing states. What is the reason? Not enough mechanization, absence of further newer investments, particularly for investments in rural infrastructure, are the main causes. Actually, if public investment in the rural areas is not done, the produce never reaches the nearby market. And there starts the sorrow story of many of the products, like Lahiri said, are being sold in many parts of Bengal for far lesser than MSP. So even for MSP to reach, your systems efficiencies will have to be there. Your infrastructure not there, systems efficiency doesn't reach the village areas. Many central government schemes, and when I say rural infrastructure, it should include also farmer-producer organizations, where farmer-producer organizations can make legitimate profit if they knew how to preserve the stock and sell it at a time when the prices are very high or reasonably high. They can make their profit. No, they seem to be selling distressed. As a result, the price that they get is not good enough. Many central government schemes for Krishak, such as the PM Matsya Sampada Yojana, which is very important, I would think, for Bengal. It helps all the fishermen. Freshwater fish. Today you must see in Uttar Pradesh, only 2 days ago when I was there, I met up with the minister. And the ministers were telling me that there used to be a huge Andhra fish which was sold in Uttar Pradesh. No harm, within the country you can have whichever comes to your state. But when you have enough water bodies, you have a river, freshwater fish was possible. Uttar Pradesh made the effort, and today I was told the import from, or the fish from Andhra Pradesh are not as much as before. We have our own fish and our own fishermen, and this I heard from a Nishad gentleman, himself a minister. He was telling me, now my own fishermen are producing enough freshwater fish and they are being incentivized by PM Matsya Sampada Yojana, and there is a clear shift towards supporting fishermen. You still want to get fish from Andhra? Please do get it. Or any other state for that matter. But your own fishermen are surviving and now prospering because the Matsya Sampada Yojana has helped. I hope the fishermen from Bengal also get benefit from it. Fasal Bima Yojana. Swamitva Yojana. Swamitva is when rural areas, the landholder doesn't even have his own papers or title in his hand. He can't even raise genuine loans from the bank. We have drones coming in now to give you the measurement and give you the title in proper paper. No, that's not available. KCC loans which are given for crops, for fisheries and for animal husbandry. You have one cow or you have one goat or you have a piggery. Everything is covered. You can still get loans. I'm not sure if it is reaching. So these will have to be rigorously implemented in Bengal if Krishak will have to get benefit, and rural augmentation should happen. For rural augmentation to happen, many of these schemes are aimed at the last man in that cadre. And of course, support both by public and private investment should be towards enhancing agricultural productivity. In this, research for agriculture-related work is important. I'll just recall to you that in this vote on account, we have given 1 lakh crore of rupees to a particular SPV, which will fund research and innovative activities, be it from any field, from the private sector. Now, if this particular SPV starts its business, which it will start from now, research for particular areas in agriculture, whether it is for storage, preservation, or better quality grains, seeds, all that is possible. You should be a part of all this. Bengal should engage and get the benefit of all this. So that is one, talking about the rural enhancement. Leveraging resources, the geographical location, and also the resource endowment of the East is so good. It should have become the manufacturing hub for India. I do not want to go back to the colonial times, but when the British left us, for most of us in the South, most of us in the West, it was Bengal which was the manufacturing hub. Whether it was soap, whether it was spin, whether it was anything. I strongly recall Margot soap, Swapan Das family has a big link to it. We're all from here. But today, industry, if anything, sorry for sounding exaggerated, industry is fleeing Bengal. Traditional industry families have left. Industry groups are also saying no longer for us. And there are reasons for it. So then, what is this Mission Purvodaya? Mission Purvodaya is actually running parallel with Atmanirbhar Bharat. If we have to be Atmanirbhar Bharat, unless the East rises with its endowment, good iron ore, coal, material such as bauxite, all this will have to be revived back again. And I'm grateful to the Prime Minister for having revived the Baroni refinery, as a result of which giving gas connection to it. Entire East industries are now coming to understand that it is possible to revive old dead units, but if you have the will to do it, and the states will have to work with the center on this. Very quickly, I'll go to talking about what the District Mineral Fund has come up with. That was it was one of the collaterals of the new mining policy. The District Mineral Fund, every state earns royalty sitting where they are sitting without an effort. Kind of money which has been raised is 84,900 crores have been collected in 23 states because of the District Mineral Fund. Now that is the kind of money which is coming to each of the states, and in that Jharkhand has collected 12,000 crores. Odisha has collected 24,600 crores. Meghalaya, the small state in Northeast, has collected 90 crores. And Bengal has collected 150 crores. As a result of the District Mineral Foundation, many projects are getting funded at the district level itself because of the royalty money. More should be done in Bengal for getting more out of the District Mineral Fund, I would think. And of the 84,900 crore that has been all over India collected, 79,400 odd crores has already been sanctioned for several projects in those districts. Imagine the impact of that kind of money coming to the district level. East, because we're talking about East and these collections are happening in the East. Infrastructure. Just very quickly look at the infrastructure which is necessary for promoting growth. West Bengal has been a major beneficiary, and I'm happy to say this, of all the effort that we've done for improving the infrastructure. Over the period of 14 to 23, Bengal saw the commissioning of 1,100 kilometers of railway sections, A to B line, Z to K line, L to M line are all now restored, adding to a total of 1,100 kilometers. 21,000 kilometers of rural roads in West Bengal have been done, completed. Over 1,200 kilometers of national highways have been completed in the state, with an additional 2,171 kilometers for upgrading rural roads. All these are benefits because infrastructure development has been given that kind of an importance. State governments, of course, will have to now work together with the center to have better benefits given to them. If you don't acquire land or if you don't give clearances at the speed at which it has to be given, roads don't reach you. You have capable Juvak. The youth of Bengal are very capable. You just give them the opportunities, they can rise as well. But what is happening is a sad story again. West Bengal was only second to Kerala in terms of literacy. At one point in time, both these states stood out for the rest of the country saying, oh my God, look at their educational levels. Today, the population which is 80 years or above was that population which benefited by that kind of an education system which prevailed in the two states. In Bengal, all those who are above 80 are the ones who benefited from that kind of education when Bengal was prosperous. But today, Bengal has fallen behind Gujarat, Maharashtra and Tamil Nadu, that if you take a section of 10 to 14-year-olds, today's 10 to 14-year-olds, their education levels, their literacy levels are far below Tamil Nadu, Gujarat and Maharashtra. Till 2010, West Bengal was a net recipient of migrant laborers. But from 2010 onwards, 1.1 million workers have migrated out of Bengal. From 2010, it has both high-end, high-skilled human resources moving out, as much as was Lahiri saying, they're going to sow seed or paddy or construct buildings. So both high-end workers and absolutely at the bottom rung, both are migrating. That from 2010, if you count till today, 1.1 million people from Bengal have migrated. I've already told you about the vicious cycle affecting industry. I'm not elaborating on that. Now, what are those schemes which the poorest of the poor need, which would hold them back to be in Bengal? Ayushman Bharat, 5 lakh rupees you can utilize and go to a hospital if somebody in the family is unwell. Without cash, without paper, you can get the benefit. We shall not implement Ayushman Bharat in Bengal. Now, politics has an end to itself. Somewhere you have to draw the line. Are you having politics to deny certain things for yourself, or you're denying the common poor public? You want to give a better system for them? Give them. But why do you deny something which is coming? 5 lakhs is not enough for Bengal poor, you give more. But even that 5 lakh, why do you want to stop? You stopped it. On the other hand, not only Ayushman Bharat card is being given, 5 lakh per year medical treatment for free is being given. But what did happen on 25th February 2024, this year, few days ago? PM Modi dedicated to the country 5 All India Institute of Medical Sciences. 5 AIIMS were dedicated, and one of them was in Kalyani, just about 80 kilometers from here, AIIMS. Politics has not stopped PM Modi from serving the people of Bengal. But you're denying the service which Prime Minister Modi wants to do for the entire country, and more so for the East. That's not denying Bengal, it's denying the people of Bengal, the poorest people of Bengal, which is a disservice to the people of Bengal. Bengal's ailing health care. I'll add one more point to it. PM opened up the AIIMS, Kalyani gets one. I come from the south. I belong to Tamil Nadu, I'm married to Andhra Pradesh. Hyderabad has very good medical infrastructure. Tamil Nadu has very good medical infrastructure. I can tell you very clearly. In the small lanes which lead up to these huge big Apollos of the world, Medicity, Apollo, and many more such private hospitals, there was a time at least 10 years ago, we hadn't seen it. 10, 15 years ago it began. That lane, the usual thing will be when there is a big hospital, you have many pharmacists in that road, pharmacy, medical shops. In the last 15 years, we see boards in Bengali. Boards in Bengali in Hyderabad, boards in Bengali for pharmacy shops near big medical centers. Patients from Bengal go to Hyderabad. Patients from Bengal go to Tamil Nadu, to Chennai for treatment. PM Modi gives you names. Ayushman Bharat is not allowed. So why would patients want to come out of Bengal for treatment elsewhere if only you're providing it all very well here? Neither are you providing, nor are you allowing Prime Minister Modi to do it, but you scream politics every time and deny the people the service which is due to them, which the rest of the country is benefiting from. And you then say, East will have to be helped. East is going to be the engine. East has got to be the one which has got to be developed. They've languished for a long time. Who's not allowing this development to happen in East? We should think for ourselves. Technology, digital public infrastructure, and the rate at which we brought in 5G. The reference was made to direct benefit transfers. Due to lack of opportunities, engineers, software engineers from this region are all forced to migrate and seek job elsewhere. The number of IT parks and associated service centers are not happening here. I'll again tell you, if global capacity centers, the GCCs, are the in thing today, and India has nearly, and I'm talking about a year-old statistics, India has about 50% of all the global GCCs in India. And the rest of it, wherever they have, Indian engineers, Indian professionals are going and manning that. I want to ask, how many capability centers, GCCs, have come to Bengal? You have them in Noida, you have them in Hyderabad, you have them in Bengaluru. You have them in some of the tier 2, tier 3 cities elsewhere. Manpower is adequate in Bengal, but people are not coming to invest for obvious reasons. Now, just to highlight economic mismanagement of Bengal, I'm sure Ashok Lahiri can talk about it with greater authority, but I will flag those issues because today is a very good opportunity for me to put it before you. Thinking people of Kolkata, please do take this seriously for yourselves. Have discussions in your circle. Media do write about it. It is for the good of the people of Bengal that I put this. I don't want to score a political point. People are saying what's happening in Bengal. I'll flag those issues. Downward trend in gross capital formation. Gross capital formation is a very strong indicator. In 2010, West Bengal accounted for 6.7% of capital formation of India. 6.7% of capital formation from Bengal was adding to India. It made up for 6.7%. Now it is only 2.9%. Gross capital formation. So the state has not taken any step to reverse this downfall. Second, high indebtedness and committed expenditure. Any small businessman will know the money that he gets will have to be spent reasonably on his staff's salary, some expenditure to run the institution, but other things will have to be plowed back so that the business can grow. Look at Bengal. A large part of the revenue goes for servicing debt and for servicing pensions, which means the state government has no fiscal room to implement any scheme that it has promised. Committed expenditure from 2017 to 18 to 21-22, which includes, please look at the categories that I'm saying. These are not healthy criteria. Interest payments, pensions, and administrative expense. I just told you about a small businessman giving salary, giving interest for the loan that he's taken, and also for the expense of running the office itself. If majority of your money goes, with what would you run the business? Bengal, 2017-18 onwards till 21-22, the amount spent on interest payments, pensions, administrative expenses accounts for almost 35% of the total revenue expenditure of West Bengal. For your 100 rupees, 35 goes for revenue expenditure on these heads. What will be left with you for doing anything else? Manufacturing has become low value. Policy flip-flops have all brought in this environment where industry thinks the state is hostile, we can't do anything more than, this on this. Annual per capita income growth has been lower than the national average in the last 2 months, no, 2 years, no, 2 decades. Ashok Lahiri spoke about it. Annual per capita income and its growth has been lower than the national average for 2 full decades. Imagine, even if you have a responsive government today, it will take at least 3-4 years to pull it to some normal level and then only to grow. Look at the numbers, very worrying. In 1960s, West Bengal was one of the richest states in India on the basis of per capita income. 1960s. If you look at annual per capita income growth in real terms, then between 1993, I'm moving from 60s to 1993, 94, and 99, 2000. Listen to this very carefully. National average, Bengal. West Bengal's growth rate was 5.5%, while all India growth rate was only 4.6%. All India growth rate is only 4.6%. Bengal was 5.5. This is between 93 to 2000. That is, Bengal was higher than the national average. However, during the next decade, from 64, I moved to 93 till 2000. Now I'm coming to 2000 to 2010. West Bengal's growth rate fell to 4.9%, and the all India average went up to 5.5%. You were higher than the national average. You've gone below it, and that is going below from 2000 to 2010 itself. That's why I said 2 decades now you're suffering from lower growth. Between 11-12 and 19-20, the next decade, West Bengal's growth rate fell further down to 4.2%, while the national average was 5.2%. No attempt by the government to reverse this or to do anything to improve the state of affairs. By 21-22, which is this decade, 2 or 3 years ago, West Bengal And actually, I have goose pimples to say, truly, I'm not dramatizing. West Bengal ranked 23rd out of all the states and union territories in the country. 23rd. Fertile land, enough irrigatable land, water, industrial investment. 1947, you were the prosperous country. Of course, infiltration, refugees. But even after that, you kept it up till about 99. What's become of Bengal? I really feel very sad. But that is backed by data. I'm not making an emotional pitch without numbers. No ease of doing business at all here. Look at this. Again, in 1947, West Bengal's share in the country's total industrial production was, can you guess? Can you guess? 24%. A quarter of everything that industry produced for this country in 47 was all here. 24%. And do you want to guess where you're today? And when I say today, 2021, I'm not even talking about 24. Where is 24% and where is 3.5%? I'm actually, every time I read these kind of numbers for Bengal, my heart sinks with grief. I may not have been born in Bengal, but Bengal plays such a wonderful role for this country. All through history, your thought leaders, your industry leaders, you stood out in culture, you stood out in music, you stood out in knowledge. Now tell me one parameter on which you're standing out. Tola Bazi. I can straight away name 4 industrial groups which have gone out of Bengal. Aditya Birla Group has gone out, Lakshmi Mittal has gone out, Bata has gone out, Dabur has gone out, maybe many more. I'm not taking more of your time. So what are the factors which are driving the industry out? Power shortage, absolutely poor law and order situation, uncontrolled trade unionism. There's no ease of doing in Bengal. So the nexus of corruption and syndicated crimes is really paralyzing the state. Cut money. Cut money is being taken as sovereign right. And people are sitting and calling, making several phone calls, and there is not one policeman who's got the spine to go and say, you will not do this in the state. And I won't blame the police. After all, they are party cadres, many of them. And some good policemen cannot do individually. I'm not saying all police is bad in Bengal. But corruption. It's like there are times when in South they say you go to your mama's house, your mother's brother's house. Meaning you go to your mother's house and then speak about the greatness of your mama. Not relevant. You go to your place and you talk about your own place's virtues, you won't. Because it's obvious, everybody knows it. मायके में जाकर के मामा का कहानी नहीं चलता क्योंकि सबको मालूम है मामा कौन है मायके में. मगर बंगाल में आकर के करप्शन का बात करना वो वैसे ही लग रहा मुझे. आप लोग को पूरे जानकारी है, मैं क्यों उसके ऊपर बात करना है. मायके में जाकर के मामा का कहानी, बंगाल में आकर के करप्शन का कहानी सबको मालूम है. मगर मैं बोल रही हूँ, वेस्ट बंगाल चीफ मिनिस्टर herself, Didi herself, in June 2019 said, somebody represented to her, she ordered returning the cut money which has been taken from 2011. 2019 में बोल रहे हैं कि 2011 से जो पैसा कट मनी के रूप में लिया वो वापस करो, which means she is admitting. But after that, nothing has happened. 2022 July, Industry and Commerce Minister Partha Chatterjee has been arrested. I have been industry minister in the center, and every time I went into my room, one thought which would come into my mind was Dr. Shyama Prasad Mukherjee was India's first industry minister. As I entered the room, I used to feel, oh my God, what a big shoe I have to fill in. And he quit it, saying, I don't approve of Nehru's policies, and got out of the ministry. But here is a minister here in Bengal, industry minister, who's been arrested. October 2023, West Bengal's forest minister is arrested in multi-crore ration distribution scam. For whom do you distribute ration? As they say, Ambani and Adani? No, to common people. And you're denying their rice and taking it away? Midday meal scheme, 2023 April. Joint inspection by officials of the Union and Bengal governments revealed that West Bengal government over-reported. Listen to this, shocking. And a woman chief minister. Can it be so heartless? Over-reported 160 million midday meals. How many? 10, 11, 20, 100? 160 million midday meals have been over-reported. You didn't feed that many number, but you said that's what has been fed. And this comes out not when one party from Delhi sent its team, but both Bengal state government and also the central government team jointly inspect and find out 160 million midday meals have been over-reported. And what is the worth of this over-reporting? 100 crores. And how many months did it take? Between April and September 22. Just between April and September, 100 crore worth of midday meal related scam. Your own people's, poor people's food, you're over-reporting. Okay. Move on then. The problems with centrally sponsored scheme. Normally they're screaming. Parliament, outside, media, everywhere. Manrega money is not being released by Modi. I'll come to the detail there. First of all, Bengal has not implemented Ayushman Bharat. And many other schemes like Manrega, PM Awas Yojana have absolutely no virtues at all. Scandal after scandal. West Bengal's slowest progress in providing tap water. Compare it with the national average. Jal Jeevan Mission. National average, 74%. In water-rich Bengal, normally Jal Jeevan Mission suffers when there is no source of water from where you can give the tap water connection. Pipes are laid and everything else, you get scared. You don't know where to get the source from. There's no nadi, there's no river, there's no talab. So you're wondering. Bengal has rich connections, no problem for water, but get it to the tap. National average is 74%, Bengal is 43% only. Manrega, you would have heard a lot of allegations. 25 lakh fake Manrega job cards. आदमी नहीं है, वो डिमांड ड्रिवन स्कीम है. जब एक व्यक्ति आता है, I want job, उनके लिए है. 25 लाख फेक आदमी के लिए जॉब कार्ड बनाया गया है. इसको हम पैसा दें ना दें, किसका पैसा? मेरा बाप का पैसा है क्या? ना, टैक्स पेयर का पैसा भैया. मैं कैसे दूं? 25 लाख फेक कार्ड के लिए टैक्स पेयर का पैसा मैं कैसे दूं? बट इसमें एक और वेरी इंटरेस्टिंग विषय आप समझना चाहिए. बंगाल कैनॉट टॉलरेट दिस. Work permits were given to Manregas. That which work you're not supposed to do, वो सब चल रही है काम. Public funds को private property develop करने के लिए Manrega, टी estate में Manrega, जबकि Manrega is not for private property. Verse मैं बोल रही हूं आपको, जहां रिकवरी करना, क्योंकि गलत चला गया पैसा, उनसे रिकवर करो, सही आदमी को दो. रिकवर करना असंभव था. रिकवर कर नहीं पाए. फिर कैसे वो अमाउंट को वापस करना है? फ्रॉम द ट्रेशरी फ्रेश मनी वॉज गिवन एज वापस करने वाला पैसा. रिकवरी नहीं किया. टैक्स पेयर को डबल बार धोखा. मतलब पहले यू गेव टैक्स पेयर्स मनी फॉर फेक फेलोज. When it was detected, it was all fake. वापस लो उनसे पैसा और सही बंदा को दो, वापस नहीं लिया। मगर इधर पैसा भरपाई करना है, क्योंकि गलत आदमी को आपने दे दिया, वापस लो, भरपाई करो, वापस नहीं लिया। मगर भरपाई कैसे किया? फ्रेशली टैक्स पेयर मनी उनके ट्रेजरी से निकाल करके भरपाई कर दिया। खाने वाले को पहले दे दिया, और भी खा करके देंगे उनको, उसको मैं वापस नहीं लूंगी, मगर इससे भरपाई कर रही हूं। टैक्स पेयर has been repeatedly cheated in Bengal, even in this kind of a open scam-ridden situation. How will you pay the taxpayers' money for filling up where you had to recover and pay that? You did not recover because you know who took it. In the name of fake fellows, you took it for your party workers or your whoever. And from them, if you take it back, you'll have to identify those fellows and take it back. Media तो जाएगा उनके पीछे, वो कौन था बंदा 25 फेक का पैसा लिया? ये सब झंझट में क्यों पड़े? ट्रेजरी से निकाल कर डाल दो। पीएम आवास योजना, eligible families were deprived, ineligible fellows were made to build mansions, meaning first floor build कर रहे हैं, second floor build कर रहे हैं, जिनके पास already घर है। ऐसे पीएम आवास योजना में गड़बड़। अगले विषय में जा रही हूं। इंडिया जस्टिस रिपोर्ट tells us West Bengal ranks near to the bottom in terms of policing and law and order. Judicial and law and order parameters में Bengal सबसे नीचे है। No wonder capital goes away from Bengal, industry goes away from Bengal. January 2024, you know, ED officials were attacked by a mob of 800 to 1,000 people and sustained serious injuries. When did that happen? When they went to search the house of Shah Jahan Sheikh in Sandesh Kali. And that is how police or mob take the law into their hands and do as per the orders of the political masters. West Bengal's Panchayat elections saw, and that was in 23, saw 40 people die. And democracy का institutions के ऊपर रोना धोना इधर होता है, hey Modi, you have done this, hey Modi, you have done that. 40 people die here. आपका जवाब आज तक उसके ऊपर नहीं है, मगर दूसरे के ऊपर आरोप करते जा रही हो। Union Minister Nishit Pramanik's convoy was attacked. Similarly, Muralidharan's convoy was also attacked. MOS External Affairs. Nadda ji party president's car was attacked. Sandesh Khali. Uske upar mein, my body shakes if I have to talk about it. And the audacity of the district state administration in not arresting the culprit till today. Can there be a leadership, male or female, which can bear with this? अरेस्ट नहीं किया। और मुझे याद है पार्लियामेंट में मणिपुर के ऊपर कितने बार प्रश्न चिन्ह उठाए, एक नहीं किया, वो नहीं किया। होम मिनिस्टर आकर जवाब दिया कि क्या क्या एक्शन हुआ। होम मिनिस्टर खुद गए थे उधर, कैंपों में रहे, सबसे मिले, और जिनको एक्शन जिनके ऊपर लेना है वो एक्शन भी लिया। मैं पूछ रही हूं इधर सेक्शन 144 लगाकर किसी को आने नहीं दे रही हो, आपके मंत्री लोग जा रहे हैं, मगर फिर भी स्टेटमेंट क्या आया? अगर मैं सही पढ़ी मीडिया में, वी विल अरेस्ट हिम विद इन अ वीक। मतलब आपको मालूम है वो बंदा कहां है, इसीलिए कॉन्फिडेंटली बोल रही हो एक सप्ताह के अंदर मैं अरेस्ट करूंगा। हाउ कैन यू अदरवाइज से दैट यू विल अरेस्ट हिम विद इन अ वीक? मतलब मालूम है आई विल ब्रिंग हिम समहाउ विद इन अ वीक। आपके मंत्रीगण जा रहे हैं उधर, कोई और नहीं जा पा रहे हैं, ये क्या लॉ एंड ऑर्डर है? सो आखिर में और समय ना लेते हुए, ईस्टर्न इंडिया इज द क्रेडल ऑफ आवर हिस्ट्री। I don't want to recollect many things many people, many top leaders of India have said. What Bengal thinks today, rest of India thinks tomorrow. उस ताकत वापस आना चाहिए बंगाल को। You should get back your mojo. You should get back the strength. ऐसे कितना दिन आप सहोगे? How long will you tolerate this absolutely irresponsible government? Unresponsive. You're not getting answers for your questions. ये किस कारण आप सह रहे हो? Bengal doesn't deserve this. The coming 25 years are very critical. We need to have Bengal or Bihar or Jharkhand and Orissa develop, as I said. You should become the engine, lead us from the front. And for that, state governments will have to work together with the center. And center will have to understand states' requirement. हम साथ साथ आगे बढ़ने में ही हमारे युवा, हमारे किसान, हमारे महिला, हमारे अन्नदाता, कृषक सब आगे बढ़ेंगे. हम citizens with a lot more awareness होना ही चाहिए. मैं बंगाल के लिए मेरा सर झुक करके नमन करती हूँ. You are a great Bhumi. Please rise. Please rise and assert what Bengal should be. Thank you very much.